Let's go. This is a little preview for today. Can't see. We're gonna go down to the gorge. I have to pre-record it because the gorge has no signal. It's gonna go live on YouTube, but I didn't. So this is a little preview. Just made a lot of connections with the name Pehrah. Literally FR and PR are Pharaoh. Everything that has to do with Pharaoh, both positive and negative, are in the PR and FR. And then anything that seems like it's purposely trying to pronounce something as Pharaoh. So here's the path here that we're going to be going on, all the way down to the gorge. I call it a gorge, like as a joke. It's a little creek. But yeah, so practice makes perfect. No, the spirit makes perfect. But practice is good, right? So that's a good Pharaoh. It's a good Pharaoh quality. Musha, Moshiach, muscle. These bad boys from outer space. Ultimate muscle. When I body slam the human race. Ultimate muscle. Heals waste to our defense with strength and speed and flatulence? You see how it's like they're quite... Wait a minute, that's unorthodox. Flatulence? What does that mean? It's like, yeah, people release gas. When you have good in you, it releases bad. They joke on that on Shrek. Better out than in, I always say. Hey, Kingy. And he talks kind of like a... You know who Shrek talks like. If Farquaad can't understand the Bible, and Shrek can kind of understand the sovereignty of it, then Shrek gets the girl. You see how it works? Here's this beautiful little path down here. The deer take it. Everything seems to take the little road I made. So, premonition. Premonition isn't prophecy, though. Oh, see, prophecy. You see how people have a misconception on prophecy? There are the office of prophets, which are few, but all Christians are supposed to function in prophecy. It's actually, I forgot what it is, something like... It sounds like Nessie the Loch Ness Monster. I think is supposed to be like lost prophecy. It's like, oh, we know prophecy still exists for some reason in the Scottish Highlands or the Scottish Loch Ness. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I feel bugs crawling on me because I'm not going to show you guys, but I'm just like waltzing through the woods in my underwear because it's very, very humid, and I'm trying to sweat because my recluse bite just it just now stopped requiring band-aids. So that's really good. That means I could do anything. That means I could put my foot in water. I think I probably would still put some kind of like seal on it. I definitely wouldn't go in the lake over here because the lake's got some problems because people don't know how to dispose of their garbage. But anyway, I gotta watch out for briars because there's nothing that's protecting my legs except the Holy Spirit and intuition. Anyway, so Musha, muscle. Here's Race to Our Defense, the Ultimate Muscle cartoon. And then it says, heroes gathered across the nations from different, heroes. How's the lyrics go? They go, it's talking about drawing all the Mashiachs, basically. Because everybody who's in Messiah is a Messiah. So that's why they're wearing Messiah. All the kings of Israel wore Messiah in various times. They never wore it constantly their whole life. That's what Messiah is supposed to be, since he is the Mashiach. Then he actually is wearing it his whole life because he is it. That's why God is the is, and he is the do. Messiah is the do. It's the function of the do. Messiah isn't even doing. He's just submitting to the is, to Yehovah, and Yehovah is controlling him as you would a character in a video game. And the character in the video game has no... Oh, sorry, I just walked into a huge web. And when you're scantily clad and you walk into a full body web, it is the strangest feeling, sorry. So, what was I talking about? They're gathering all the Mashiachs. It's a galactic federation to monitor the situation. Federation. Federation. Can you hear him in there? He's squirming around. He's swarming in there somewhere. He's a leech. Pharaoh is a leech. He's a strong leech, though. He's a giant one. It casts fear into people because it seems like he can swallow people whole. But he can't. He'll choke on them. He might, like, swallow somebody in front of everybody, then go backstage and spit him back out. But, you know what I mean? I hope people have eyes to see and ears to hear what I'm trying to say. Because this is how the ancients spoke. You're supposed to be able to understand this because you watch the same stimuli I do. If you're American or you're connected somehow to the media of television, you're going to have 50 to 80% of the stimuli I had in my life. So I'm going to say things and reference things, hopefully that you understand. So that's a type of speech that's developed when you care about somebody enough or something or a group of something enough to actually want to communicate better with it. That's why I try to emphasize to people in the lovingest way I can when it comes to either how they speak or their technology. It's like if I can't understand what you're saying language-wise... Oh, there's a big web. If I would have walked into that, I'd have this spider crawling all over me. Okay. I'm going to try not to flash you guys. I can just walk around it. And the reason I'm in my underwear also is because there's seed ticks everywhere. So if I accidentally step in a nest, then I need to be able to take a shower and not have clothes that are infested. Because if I feel this good and my toes doing good, I don't want to waste that. You see what I mean? I need to be sweating. I haven't been sweating. And I've been hearing some opinions lately that I believe are true. They appear sound, where the either not wanting to sweat or the difficulty to sweat is a sign of demonic possession, which makes sense because it's like a desert mentality. That's probably why most of the prophets and everything had to happen in the desert, because it's an environment that truly tests the investment. I mean, what truly tests an investment but a desert? You can't grow anything in a desert. You have to go by faith alone. That's why they become merchants. You guys gotta understand psychology. Do you understand? So Mashiach, Musha, muscle, masseuse, masses, muster, all the good things. You understand? But maybe some of the bad things. Mush. So meek that some people think he's mush. But see, that's the thing, is that mush can be so empowered by God. God likes to work with mush because it glorifies him more, because everybody knows the mush didn't do anything. Right? So you see all these? Look at this. This is beautiful. It's beautiful out here. It's rewarding. It doesn't matter if you sweat a lot. Just gotta have water. One day I'll be able to do more of these. There's literally like a big old spider above me. Not big, like they're small, but they all look poisonous. Let me wipe my back, because I'll get like these beads of sweat on my back, right? And it'll feel like a spider's on my back. Or a tick is on my leg. I don't see any ticks yet. I don't see them on my shoes. There's usually none on paths. Like if you clear a path and there's a lot of dirt, then you usually don't have to worry about it. Excuse me. That's the dirty part of life right here. And see, if you play soccer or you do this, you walk up and down this hill and stuff, you'll sweat like crazy, and you'll, like anything blocking your sinuses, anything, it'll all come out. And then everybody's getting supposedly the cold and flu, and what do they tell you? Stay home, stay safe. You can exercise in your home. It's like, you can work up a sweat in your house, yeah, but there's nothing like being in the sunlight, especially when it's humid air. Humid air is like God's breath. It can destroy you, but it's like life-giving. It's Heth. It's Heth and Hava. You gotta watch it. I'm gonna start saying, ooh, good Lord, that is creepy. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I almost walked into that web that I knew about. Isn't that something? And see how creation, God through creation, teaches you things. I almost walked into the same web I saw and went around. Remember the prophet? Where the guy said, oh, I'm also a prophet. And he seemed like he was older than him. He was older than him. And so he's like, oh, maybe this prophet is telling the truth. That angel did tell him to come to his house. But he was testing the prophet. Sometimes prophets are told to test other prophets. Because a messenger did tell him. You understand? Prophets can't lie. A messenger did tell him. He wasn't lying. They were both being tested. Sometimes you're used for judgment and you don't know what's going on. That scares a lot of people. Doesn't scare Musha. Doesn't scare Mashiach. So, right here on this leaf, you probably can't see it. Right here on this leaf, there's a bead of sweat. I don't know if you saw it, but there's a bead of sweat there. So it's like the mark of my Musha that's coming out. The Musha, the sweating. Muscular. You understand? Mush is to draw out and to push along. It's not just pushing along. Ra Mises is pushing along with force. Is a harmful taskmaster. You see how Ramses is even the evil Musa? Ra Musa, the evil Musa. Isn't that crazy? Because I believe this is his real name, or at least what they called him after. It's probably what they called him after to cover it up, but to make sure the priests still knew what history was. Because Egyptians didn't like writing down defeat. That's why there's so many different accounts of Osiris. Because some accounts don't deny that he even suffered and died. Isn't that interesting? Because they don't even want to mention it. It's a stumbling block to them. You understand? You getting it yet? Are you hearing it? Are you hearing and not fearing? Are you seeing and therefore being nigga? That's right, I said nigga because this ain't YouTube. My 1/3 can come out. You understand? YouTube binds the African in me. I've seen half African whites that look like me. And their last name's like Makanaki. And I'm like, you're my brother. You look like my freaking brother or my cousin. It's like, yeah, because I'm 1/3 ham. I'm 1/3 ham. I should be able to say nigga. You know why? Because Negev is southern and is brother. Nigga just means southern brother. Or my brother who down with it. Literally, you can interpret it in slang. And interpret it as my brother who down with it. He down, homie. He ain't gonna abandon you. He the nigga. He ain't gonna... And so what happens when you put a hard R on it? Ooh. Then Jesse Jackson gets mad. Then Oprah Winfrey gets mad. All these people who reflect this get mad, don't they? Because when you put the ER, ear, to strip away and expose, why do you think you go to the ER? In the ear. Your ear? Your city? You understand? A city left undefended? A city left undefended? Shamir Amat. Here or die. Here or die. Do you understand? Oh, people don't understand it. See, this is the walk back up. The walk down is Pharaoh. It's like, oh, you have some boldness to go down, but do you want to go back up the hill? Because that's Musha. Pharaoh ain't making it back up the hill. Or at least Pharaoh's going to feel like he's dying. Mashiach feels like he's alive in that desert without food. It's like, oh yeah, I can make that stone into bread. But you know what, homie? I'm not hungry. I ain't hungry. I'm hardly drinking this water. I took the water. The Pharaoh in me took the water. The fear in me. The possible little bit of doubt took the water with me. That's smart though, right? Freaking Pharaoh grills, man. Pharaoh grills can like survive out there, but can he exercise? You see, Pharaoh can't exercise in the wilderness because he's too scared of losing provision. Moses, Musha, Mashiach knows that ye shall not live on bread alone. You shall not live off lechem. L'chaim. You wonder why bread means life? Because your life isn't even as important as what gave it to you. So back to why Jesse Jackson gets mad. When you put him in the ER. When you put a nigger in the ER, he becomes a nigger. That means southerner in the city, but strip away and expose, remember? And terrify. So literally a nigger in Hebrew would mean a southern thief and gangster from the city. I'm not kidding. You cannot make this up. So when I go to a white person, a black person, a brown person, yellow people, I can't say it that much too, because they don't even like Semites. They don't like Semites and they don't like ham. They only use ham as an underclass. That's why the more south you go in the Asiatics, the more Hamite you get. Yeah, their skin can get darker. Anybody's skin can get darker. The more southern you get. I was getting pretty brown here when I was working in the sun in the middle of the summer. I looked like bread crust. Like, it was pretty brown. And it was really, really nice looking because it wasn't like a sunburn. It wasn't burnt. The sun was like really nice. That was 2 years ago. The sun's still pretty nice here. It's really nice in the summer. So, what was I talking about? Fion and something and Musiak. So, yeah, all the fears of Fiorun were presented to Moshe and Shiach. So, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Adam does not. Remember, shall not isn't in the scripture. I think I said this before. If I didn't, now I'm saying it or I'm reminding you. Shall not is not in scripture. The literal Hebrew is you do not. You understand? We don't play this thou shall not. Pharaoh is thou shall not. You understand? That's the secret. You want to wonder why? 10 Commandments? You wonder why the 10 Commandments was so corrupted? That movie. It's that same concept I just told you. I'm so tired I kind of forgot it, so you'll have to rewind or remember when I just say it. Because sitting on my butt with a recluse pipe can't work out, because not only is it in my toe, but the poison eats away at your blood and your oxygen absorption, whatever oxygen actually is. So you can see that right now. You understand that there's 2 types of science. There's theoretical science and the science that you're seeing in my face. So let me finish this line so I don't forget. Adam, not shall not. Adam does not. It's a fact. It's not theoretical. It's not you shall not. It's a fact. It's known. There's confidence. You do not live off of lechem, l'chaim. You do not live off even your spirit alone, but every dabar hayahuvah You understand? Every word that proceedeth out of the Pehrah. Yeah. Pehrah. You understand? Hey, Look Hashem, Haval Shaddai, Baruch Hashem, Ben Elohim HaKadosh, Olam, HaKadosh Olam. Let's just go back in here so that you realize, no matter if you're Pehrah or Musha, you all enter the same house at the end of the exercise. Are you ready for your reward or your penalty? Baruch Hashem, Haval Shaddai.